and just the other night he had you snatched up, y'all, really, really tight. I'm not that kind of fella who like OPP, but I must admit, y'all, I feel a little jealousy. Every time I see ya, I break the golden rule. I had a crush on you, girl, from we was in high school. But homeboy beat me to the deal because I never told ya. Now he plan to take you down the aisle to have and hold ya. But oh, girl, if I had you,
the things that we could do.
Girl, if I had you,
oh, the things that we could do.
If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. Oh, girl. Oh, girl. Girl, if I had you. Girl, if I had you. Girl, I should be offering you congratulations. But how can I, girl, when my heart is aching? I wonder how it is to love you, my dear. I wonder how it is to run my fingers through your hair. Now I don't mean to seem like a snake in the grass, but girl, you make me begin the knees when you pass. If he ever breaks your heart and make you cry, I will be right here to dry your weeping eyes. Oh, girl, if I had you,
the things that we could do.
Girl, if I had you,
oh, the things that we could do.
If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. Oh, God. Oh, God. You got me tossing and turning inside my bed. Girl, I can't get you out of my head. Every night and day I hope and I pray there would be a reason for you to come my way. Pretty woman, pretty girl, stop a while, talk a while. Girl, you're oh so fine. Go to my head like red, red wine. Oh, girl, if I had you,
the things that we could do.
Girl, if I had you,
oh, the things that we could do.
If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. Oh, God. Oh, shake. Oh, come on. Oh, girl, if I had you,
the things that we could do.
girl, if I had you,
oh, the things that we could do.
if loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. Oh, girl, if I had you,
The things that we could do.
girl, if I had you,
Oh, the things that we could do.
if loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. Oh, girl,
I'll be doing wrong the
yeah.
rest of my life.
Oh, girl,
I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life.
girl, if I had you,
The rest of my life.
girl, if I had you,
The rest of my life.
oh, girl,
Girl, if I had you.
oh, girl,
Girl, if I had you.
you got me tossing and turning. My heart is burning. Give me some kind of sign. Tell me that you're
Hey, 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 Bahama Rock. Hey, 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 Bahama Rock. Everybody's out there on the dock. They're doing what we call Bahama rock. Hey, hey, hey. Oh yeah, Bahama rock. Early in the morning till late at night, everybody's happy, no one's uptight. Early in the morning till late at night, everybody's happy, no one's uptight. Rock from sun to sun, and then we give the returner some. Oh yeah, Bahama rock. Oh yeah, Bahama rock. Everybody's out there on the dock. They're doing what we call Bahama rock. Yeah. Bahama rock. Lots of people from all around the other islands and Nassau town, they get together to do their thing. Oh man, how they dance and sing like a superstar. We're gonna give it to our man on their guitar. Oh yeah, Bahama rock. Oh yeah, Bahama rock. Everybody's out there on the dock. They're doing what we call Bahama rock. Yeah. Oh yeah, Bahama rock. Ronnie and the Ramblers, that's our name. This kind of rhythm, it's our game. We welcome you to join the fun. It doesn't matter what time you come. We want to give you a taste of what our man sounds like on bass. Oh yeah, Bahama rock. Oh yeah, Bahama rock. Everybody's out there on the dock. They're doing what we call Bahama rock. Yeah. Oh yeah, Bahama rock. Oh yeah, Bahama rock. Oh yeah, Bahama rock. Everybody's out there on the dock. They're doing what we call Bahama rock. Yeah. Oh yeah, Bahama rock.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Oh, did I eat up all the food? Did I drink down all the rum sweet? We can scrape it dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Now you done blow your candle, you done look on all your gifts. We done sing a happy birthday and you done made your birthday wish. While my mind asking a question, Lord, I wonder who it will be. You give your first piece of birthday cake too. Oh Lord my God, I pray that it's me. Oh, did I need all the food and did I drink on the rum speed? We can scrape it dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Now you done blowed your candle, you done look on all your gifts. We done sing a happy birthday and you done made your birthday wish. You know I was like your buddy, closer greater than your best friend. I've been with you through the hurricane. Damn it, I'll be here when your party ends. Oh, did and eat all the food, and eat and drink on the rum sweet. We can scrape it dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Now you done blow your candle, you done open all your gift. We done sing a happy birthday, and you done made your birthday wish. Each day I told you back home from school, climb the highest tree just to fit mine go for you. Gave you my jacket when you said you was cool. Even took the blame for you one time I got schooled. Oh, did I need all the food, and did I drink down the rum sweet. We can scrape it dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Now you done blowed your candle, you done open all your gift. We done sing a happy birthday, and you done made your birthday wish. You know you promised to love me eternally till the end of time. You said that I would always be your darling, and I said that you would always be mine. Oh, did I need all the food, and did I drink down the rum sweet. We can scrape it dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Now you done blowed your candle, you done open all your gift. We done sing a happy birthday, and you done made your birthday wish. I would take my life this minute, Lord, if you should leave and not stay in it. I'll pop my neck from a daily tree, gal, if you should take your love from me. And eat all the food, and eat and drink on the rum sweet. We can scrape it dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Now you done blowed your candle, you done open all your gift. We done sing a happy birthday, and you done made your birthday wish. Oh, did and eat all the food, and eat and drink all the rum sweet. We can scrape it dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Lord, you done blowed your candle, girl, you done open all the gift. We done sing a happy birthday, and you done made your birthday wish. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Oh, did I eat up all the food, did I drink down all the rum sweet. We can scrape it dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Now you done blowed your candle, you done open all your gift. We done sing a happy birthday, and you done made your birthday wish. Oh, did I need all the food, and did I drink all the rum sweet. We can scrape it dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Lord, you done blowed your candle, girl, you done open all the gift. We done sing a happy birthday, and you done made your birthday wish. Oh, did I need all the food, and did I drink all the rum sweet. We can scrape it dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Lord,
I have a dream where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table, where the haves will see the have-nots, not as burdens, but as brothers, where class will not divide us, but conviction will unite us. I have a dream that the oligarchs will remember we must all eat, that the brown-faced neo-colonialists will remember who they are and whose they are. I have a dream that fraternities will build beyond internal architecture into a national bond, that the walls of design will give way to the bridges of brotherhood, not a fraternity of symbol, but a brotherhood of substance. I have a dream that we remain focused, that we stay in our conviction and remain fearless, that we double down, fortified, to return this Bahamaland to the foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Foundation with Howard Grant out here live in a rainy city right here in the city of Nassau. Grateful to be in your company. Grateful to jam with you on a consistent basis, being able to talk about what we're doing. I am excited for today. I am truly excited. Let me fix my little scarf situation because this man telling me all kind of things. But I'm truly excited today, right? He didn't start telling me, well, you know, we got to get this software because this costs. He doing a lot. He is doing a lot. Give God praise. But we're here and we're jamming, and I'm grateful to be in your company, grateful to be able to talk the way that we are. And if you want to be able to be a part of the conversation, I want you to do so. Give me a call, 827-0111, 827-0111. This is The Foundation. And I am elated today. If you don't follow me, you wouldn't see some things. But if you do follow me, you would have seen and you would understand my elation. And this sort of an exuberance that I have right now, this excitement that exists in me, you'd recognize because I got my papers. We got our papers. Just be decent. The papers are here, and everybody could be able to see it. It should be on the road on Monday. God spare our lives. It's sort of a rainy few days or whatnot. Just ran in here from the rain and whatnot. But I got my papers. I'm gonna show it to you. Oi, 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 oi. Woi! I gotta give God praise, honor, and glory for the opportunities that He's given me. And I really want to thank my team. I can't tell you all my team business and all those things like that. Okay, you want me to put it over here on this side, Okay, hold on. Yeah, we put it on this side. All right. The Realigner newspaper. Lest we forget. This is sort of the idea that exists in here. There's only a 12-pager at this time, so it's going to be $1, guys. I'd like you to be able to pick it up. If you want to slide me 20, I give you 20 papers. You can distribute it to your church members. You can distribute it to all those particular places, wherever. Just to be able to say exactly what's what. This is a great space for you to be able to do your advertisements, to say who you are, what you do. You could be able to put all that information in there and let person see exactly what you are. There's opportunities for you to be able to advertise on the inside. Everything is there, man. This is legit information. I'm going to be coming around and distributing it to various persons, some persons who I've had on my list to be able to talk about some of the major stories that we're going to talk about in the paper. Like I said to you, is Dorian. So Dorian is a major story that we're actually talking about in the paper. One of the other stories that we're actually dealing with is this D average, right? So we looked at natural disaster. We looked at education, and education was one of those things. This issue was supposed to be for accountability and transparency. That's really what we wanted to come out of the gate with: accountability and transparency. The idea of being able to be forefront and forthcoming with information and being able to deal with some things. So this is accountability and transparency. Essentially, some of the things that we're going to be talking about in here. Finding a solution for the D average, right? Very good stories, being able to talk about these things. You'll be able to see by Realigner Reporter, because you want to know who these people is writing for me and who these people is doing all these things. Well, in due time and due season, I'm sure that you'll be able to see exactly what's what, but let me get my feet together. Let me be able to solidify and establish myself in position that I could be able to pull people in full time and do these things. But trust and believe that these people are accredited and they're out here being able to do these things. So I'm grateful that they are supporting. I'm grateful that they're part of it. One of the stories that we're actually dealing with also is as a sublet or a sub story for the education story is actually... Are we ready for the rise of artificial intelligence? That is one of the stories. So it actually has to do with the D average, right? So we talked about the D average, talked about this sort of an idea that exists through there. And then we started to talk about this idea for growth and development that exists in these particular spaces. And so it talked about how some things are happening. You could see in the story, it says, the good, the bad of AI in the classroom, balancing technology with core skills, a call for action for the Bahamas. Some good stuff, man. One of the letters to the editor, which you're going to have an opportunity to be able to put in there, is the need from the Freedom of Information Act, right? So you can be able to put that information in there, identify that, and we could be able to talk about that if you wish, all right? So the emails, I'm going to put all the information up, but the email is going to be editor@therealigner.com, editor@therealigner.com, And you could be able to see that. One of the stories that we've done in there also is that what have we learned? Lessons from the killing of Charlie Kirk. When we talked about Charlie Kirk. Lessons from the killing of Charlie Kirk. This is something that we did. And then the road we trod. My very, very good good friend who's sitting with me, who normally sits with me. Ambassador Devin Roll has put together a wonderful piece in the back here. The road we've trod, right? This is a point of faith. We don't do religion. I don't want to say religion, right? That's not my thing, right? But this is a point of faith. And I believe that this is really what we're going to be talking about and the essence of what we're doing, right? And in the back there's this big round-faced fella that is the Founders Corner, right? So you can be able to see some stuff in the Founders Corner. And it'll talk to you about the inception of the concept and where this came from and how this happened and why it happened. And being able to do that. So $1. Just $1, guys. I'm going to see if I can get some guys on the streets on Monday right there on Milo Butler. See if I can get somebody on Milo Butler to be able to send some stuff for me and make some things happen in those areas. I can see. But if not, it'll be in Roko's gas station. It'll be in Porky's. It will be in... we didn't get no pharmacy, I didn't have a chance. I was just running up and down doing some stuff, but I have to call Brandville to see whether or not you can be able to put it in their pharmacy right there on Ponciano Drive, right? So I'll see exactly what's what. I'll give him a call. Yeah, so I'll give him a call, see what he says, right? But this is great stuff, man. I want to thank you, man. If you want to be a distributor, if you want to be one of those persons who's going to carry the paper, there is a rev share, right? So you keep an X amount of portion. Because it ain't gonna be for free. I don't do business like that. It ain't gonna be for free. I don't expect you to do this and just be for free. It ain't gonna be for free. So, in the event that you want to be able to do that, and you want to distribute the newspaper, and you want to be able to do those things, I'd love you to give me a call, man. Let me know 827-0111, 827-0111 to find out how can I carry the paper. What do we do? What do we do in all these particular things? Huh? Oh. Yeah. So what do we do for all these particular things, right? And we could be able to find out more and more of how these things will be able to happen, right? Yeah, he's hit me up. He telling me he need this, he need that. So he could do that. Guys, give me a call and let's find out more about these things as we do what we have to do and talk further. Well, I'm excited, man. I am very excited. Many persons don't get a chance to be able to fulfill, to execute, to identify their dreams, hopes, and aspirations. Many persons don't necessarily have an opportunity to be able to do those things. They just don't. And I can't fight them because sometimes you find yourself at the crossroads and you say things like, if it is what it is, you got to stop that foolishness. It is what it is. Child, it is what it is. But maybe God didn't want it to be. You believe that a little bit of tribulation is God saying that you don't want it to be? I started to tell you this story yesterday about the fact that I've gone through so much hell. I pawn my jewelry, pawn my wife's jewelry, do this, do that, looking for an opportunity, always believing that there is something out there for me. I did so much. I mean, hustling, whatever. And I never had that level of pride. You begin with that level of pride, like, oh, I can't do this. And then you realize that nobody can do nothing for you. And so you have to do what you got to do. So in the midst of doing what I got to do, there is some things and there's some blows that I take. And I got to be able to tell my wife, thank you so much for staying with me, because I think it's hard to be married to a dreamer. I think it's hard. I think it's hard to be married to a believer, right? Somebody who is stubborn. I so stubborn? Oh God, you can't tell me nothing, I worse than Kanye. You can't tell me nothing. And my money ain't never been right. And you still can't tell me. You still can't tell me nothing. I'm stubborn. Man. And I'm not stubborn because I'm defiant. I just believe stronger than you're trying to convince. So you might as well just shut up. Not in a bad way. And I'm very selective in who I listen to. You don't know this, but I know this. You can't tell me nothing if you haven't achieved anything. You can't tell me nothing from a recliner. You can't sit down, sit back, and say, well, what you need to do, you are 65 years old. What have you ever done? What in your life can you identify that you failed at and kept failing at? And now you have the insight to be able to say to me, as a result of my relentless failure in this particular area, I believe you should shave this, do that, and do the other. What have you done? Do you want me to just sit down here and be able to relegate and give you all of my energy and focus, and you ain't one of the 24 elders sitting around the throne? No. I don't have the time for that. Crazy thing is that I woke up this morning and I just wanted to pray. So I have this little room set up. And so I went in there, got my Bible, got everything in there. And so I went in there and I just wanted to pray. I just wanted to be thankful, because a lot of the things that I've tried over the years have not worked. They just have not worked. They haven't worked. But this paper was in my hand. You know what I mean? Like, it was in my hand. You may not think that this is a big deal, but I didn't do this myself. I had to pull people in. I had to convince them. I had to pay them. I had to do this. I had to do that. We had to construct the stories. We had to send it back. We had to develop it. We had to do this. We had to look for a printer. We had to identify how much it cost to get it. It doesn't just happen. You got to work on it. So I prayed. And 2 Chronicles chapter 10 came to me. 2 Chronicles chapter 10. And in reading 2 Chronicles chapter 10, the children of Israel had rebelled. And they were looking for a new king. And Solomon's son, what's his name? Rehoboam wrote something. I can't remember his name. Anyway, I can find it. Right? Just read it, you know. Just read it. But his name was something like Rehoboam, something like that. Anyway, I'll find the name. 2 Chronicles chapter 10. And then the story, they rebelled. And they indicated to him, if you speak to us softly, then we'll let you be the king. This is what the children of Israel said. And he said, give me a couple of days to think upon this thing, and then I can come back to you. So give me a couple of days. Let me go think about this thing. Then I can come back to you. He took his few days. He went over and he went to the elders, the older elders, right? The old men who used to sit around with Solomon. He went to some of them and he asked them. He said, The children of Israel came to me and they asked me, they said, we'll let you be our king if you take some of the burden off of us, some of the weight that your father had on us, some of the responsibilities that we had. If you be a little bit easier with us, we'd be more than happy to let you be our king. This is the kind of a posture and position. And he thought about what the elders said, but he didn't necessarily accept it. He went out and he looked for the younger elders. And when they sit down and tell the younger elders, the younger wise men, this is what the children of Israel said. They said to him, you go back and tell the children of Israel, you think what my daddy did was bad. Watch me. How he whip you with a whip, I can whip you with scorpions. I can deal with you all accordingly. And you think I'm going to be worse. Get yourself prepared for it. He weighed in the balance what the older wise men or the older elder statesmen said, and then he weighed what the younger person said. He rejected the older ones. He said, okay, to hell with this. I ain't trying to be soft and whatnot. I'm going to be strong and sturdy and hard and so forth and so on. They rebellious about to kill him. He had to break out, bomb, gone. And when he went, there was a small contingent of Israelites that allowed him to be king over them. And he expanded that particular territory. But as I read it And I read about 2 or 3 chapters. As I read it, and I thought about the times and dispensations that we're in. How we believe that being able to cater to the masses, and that's what's happening in the world now. We believe by being able to cater to the masses and create a space where persons are comfortable and you could talk to them easy and nice and soft and say, yeah, we can take care of you. And this is the type of leadership you want. The devil is a liar. But no, you want me to, no. Y'all don't even respond well. You ever see your children? You ever call them? I watch my wife call my daughter 98 times. And she doing something in a tablet or on the phone or on something. Little girl. She calling her Helena. And she ain't moving. And I watching this and I ain't saying nothing. But I watching. And then she asked me to call her. And I said one time, hey. And she, yeah, because I whip you with scorpions. I don't have the time for this foolishness. I get up, whoop up. Didn't you hear me calling you? I don't have time for that. I don't have the time for that. I don't have the time for the casual conversation about all these particular things. There is no way that after we've been nice and gentle with you that you're going to respond with the urgency that is required of this particular time. There's no way. There's no way in leadership that this country, these people have responded well with soft leadership. You did not respond well to Perry Christie. You didn't. No matter the capability that existed in him, no matter the articulation that existed in him, no matter the strength, the wisdom, the knowledge, the ability to being able to bring people together, you did not respond well to Perry Christie. You did not. He's a softer leader. You responded well with Hubert Ingram. FNM and PLP alike, you scream, Papa, Papa, Papa. And you believe that this authoritarian concept and idea, this posture and leadership is the only way to get a stubborn people in line. But I looked at this story and I recognized that there's a different time and different season for different types of leaderships. That's just what it is. And even different counsel. I can't allow you to counsel me when we're going through a harder time with softer words. I can't allow you to be able to, despite your wisdom, recognize and understand that you don't even recognize that we're going into a different time. You don't even recognize that we're going into a different time. I want to be able to draw a point to you. This morning I had an opportunity to be able to listen to Fred Mitchell. And he was Lady Wallace Whitfield. He was talking about Lady Wallace Whitfield at 98 years old and the fact that she had a podcast and the fact that she is still relevant and the fact that she was a part of the Foreign Service and being able to do these wonderful things over the years. And he just continued to be able to attribute a great deal of accolades and continue to shower her, which is rightfully hers, continue to be able to shower her at 98 years old. And how she's a visionary and how all of her children are successful at 98 years old. And the first thing that popped up in my mind, but you just tell Shane Gibson, who's younger than you, he's tired and old, in so many words. Who do we attribute the accolades to? Is there a sense of honesty here when we identify these particular things? And am I prepared to be able to get the wisdom of Bertram Bethel? If I'm going to a time where we're now dealing with AI, we're now dealing with different technologies, where the world is being able to shift, where Burkina Faso and all these particular places are being able to take back their autonomy and their strength from the world. And so the structure of the world that existed prior don't even exist now. And it's ever shifting and changing the plates, the tectonic plates, economically and physically, geologically, are shifting in this world. And if you don't have a paired wisdom from a younger generation and an older generation to be able to identify for yourself the conviction that exists in you, you ain't ready for this kind of action. You ain't ready for this big boy action. And that's where we are. That's where we are. 180-year-old paper. 122-year-old paper. You hear me? $180-year-old paper, 122-year-old paper in front of me. They've gone through trial, they've gone through tribulations, and they remain steadfast. This was established during a time of segregation, of separation, of slavery in this country. And it remained buoyant and relevant throughout this time. You haven't rejected this at all. But when you identify these things and you look at this, there is a template, there is a mechanism, there is a structure in which these papers are set up that you cannot shift. You can't. And for the most part, despite the fact that it shows you as a black man or a black woman or even a white man or a Conky Joe, whatever, however you want to identify that, despite the fact that it actually shows you, it displays you in this paper was not designed for you. It's not. The shareholders and the partners and the other persons who ensure that the wording and the information that's actually placed out there is conducive to the objective and the underlying objective that they have. If there's a hard story and there's leadership that has an affiliation with that particular story, you can guarantee that it's not going to be in here. These papers provide you information. No more. They can show you the gory side of the black man. Yeah, you can watch that. You can read that. You can identify that. Aspiring quarterback fatally stabbed. We can see that. Someone shot. We can see that. I think it'll remind you of the convictions of who you've been called to and what the responsibility of a community is, and try to encourage you to be able to. They ain't gonna tell you none of that now. You may not care. You may not care. But there comes a time when information needs to be balanced. When I can't take it from the old guard, because the old guard have gone through a different time and they don't know how to prepare themselves. Yeah, these papers, the only thing that they do is display information, present information. But what I seek to do, sort of a new aspect, is involve you. Involve a different concept and idea. To leadership, involve a different concept and idea of how we look at these particular things. Remind ourselves of the conviction that we were called to. Remind ourselves of the fact that we were segregated at one point. Now we have to be conscious about the unity. Because in the midst of segregation, we recognize that all of us are deep down in this proverbial hole together. And so you have to figure out how we can make this work. Deep in this hole, you know. You have to figure out how I can make this work. We in this hole now. How I can make this work. And so you had to figure this thing out. And you say, look, I can't get no money from the bank. I can't get this. I need this. This one break down. That day this happened. A hole in my roof. How I could do that? All right. I know George. I know TJ. I know Johnny. I know all these people. They're good. They're always working for the white man. They could fix roofs. If I had the material, I could be able to, they could do that for me. And then you call George, TJ, and Jimmy. You say, listen, if I get the material, will you do, you'll fix my roof? Yeah, Miss Martha, that ain't no problem. I can fix your roof for you. All right. You figure out how to get that. You go down to the lumber yard. And the lumber yard will be able to, in 8 Mile Rock, it was T. Smith. You go down to T. Smith and you say to T. Smith, I need X amount of lumber. It costs boom, boom, boom. T. Smith say, all right. That's $1,500. How much you got, Miss Martha? Well, T, I only got $500 now, but the boy's coming over to fix it. I will give you boom, boom, boom on a payment method. That's how communities work, man. That's how communities work. Community don't work by being able to just go to the bank. The bank never gave you anything, and you've forgotten community. You don't talk to nobody because you don't need nobody. You go to the bank. You don't know your neighbors because you never need your neighbors for nothing because you got your security guard, you got your high wall, you got your this, you got your that, and then you drop down dead in your house. And we don't know you dead until somebody see the flies round you and smell you because you've forgotten community. You've forgotten community. And the entire idea that I have, that I wish you would join me in, is being able to provide a concept of community. That's all this is. That's all this is, for you to be reminded that we need each other. And if you're so convinced and you're so content with being able to be in your high walls and your relationship and your this and your that, no, hey, then you do your thing. This may not be for you. But there's some people, including your children, who needs community. Your children don't even know how to talk to people. I tell you, my son is go to school with this girl. This years ago, my big boy, right? Years ago, he go to school with this girl. My wife and I, all of us in the supermarket, we shopping, right? And we walking through. He seen one young lady who goes to school with him. Hail him. My son's name is Destin. You know that. So she said, "Hey, Destin, how you doing?" And he kept walking. So I stopped. I said, "Destin, that's how you say the woman, the young lady?" So the young lady's mother was right there, right? And she said, "I just don't understand them. They're so weird. Like these children, they don't even know how to talk to each other. Like when we was young, we never do that, right?" So I asked the mother what she named. And she told me her name, right? So I said, "Watch it." And I walk up and I said, "Hey," let's say she named Shelly. I say, "Hey, Shelly, what's going on, girl?" She say, "Oh my God, I see you so long." And we hug. I said, "It's good to see you." And we talk like that. I said, "Okay." And we pass. I said, you have to learn how to communicate in this society. Your children don't know how to communicate in this society because you kept them in a dome. You kept them in a bubble. You kept them in a silo. You kept them separated. Because of your fear of what happens in this community, the reason is your children and daughters is wild out here twerking all over the internet, sneaking to go find man, missing every 2 minutes, and we got to get a Marcos alert on Sunday in church. We can't take this, man. You teach your children how to be able to talk, what's dangerous, what ain't dangerous, what they should do, what they shouldn't do. They wouldn't go out exploring like Dora. They out here looking for man, looking for woman, looking for these experiences because they believe this is what it is to be a man. But you haven't taught them. You've kept them in this kind of a bubble, this silo, this space. It's time for us to get community. The old God ain't gonna do it for you. And the young God has to remind you of the reason why the old God was strong. That's what happened in this story. 2 Chronicles chapter 10. It's what happens in this story. What happens in the story is that the old God, because that's what's happened with your parents. Your parents, my mother, them never listen to me. My mommy called me the other day and tell me my son stressing out a little bit. But she didn't really say it like that. She wouldn't say it like that. That's how I interpret it. And so I'm listening to this story and I'm flabbergasted. That's what the hell is woman calling me and telling me this for? Slap the hell out of the boy or tell him boom boom. Whatever. This is what you do to me. But 40 some years displaced. You get soft. Well, you ain't got to treat the children like that. Maybe you could try to have a conversation with them. Ain't nobody got time for all that. What you talking to? What you into? Let's deal this thing with strength. That's the only way we keep a sense of consistency and children understand the responsibility that they have. You still got to be able to drive out the demons, the devils, the stupidity in their minds. You can't do that with a casual conversation. We have to be able to be clear on our position. We have to be able to speak with clarity. And so I hope you understand where we're coming from. want to talk with you today. I hope you understand where we're coming from. I hope you understand the necessity for being able to be a little bit strong at this particular time, to be able to execute your vision, and to be able to retain the position of not only your culture, but the purpose of being able to keep buoyant, survive, and relevant in this time. Yeah, man, we got to do better than this. I hope to God, and I said this to my partner yesterday, my business partner. He brought the papers to me. Came over to my house, brought the papers to me. And, we embraced because it was a long time coming. We were working on some stuff. And, he hugged me. He said, boy, Howard, congratulations. I said, boy, I couldn't do this without you. And we were just happy that, we finally get an opportunity to be able to. We've been working on stuff for a very long time. And I said, boy, I just need this paper to influence someone. And I got a call. I got a call from Anton. Because he saw when I put the stuff up. I got a call from Anton. I say, Anton, the only thing I need this paper to do is let people see it and be motivated to get up and do something for themselves. I don't care if you're wrapped up in your politics and believing that there will be a savior in politics. You got to get out of that. Listen to me. No politics do this for me. None. The closest politics have done this for me is those operatives in the FNM making that call to certain people over at the Guardian saying, I want X, boom, boom, boom. I want the young man gone. Based upon the information I've received. No politics has done this for me. That swift kick in the pants has placed us in this position 30 days. June 31st, I had no one hired. I had no concept for the paper. I had no vision of how I can do it. I knew I wanted to do it, but I had not. By the time as August 15 hit, people were already hired, identified, conversations were already structured. We took some people in, we leave some people aside. We set up a structure for freelance, how we can be able to do this, how we can pay this person. We signed contracts. We called the company in the States. This was already by August 20th, this was done. I'm grateful, guys. I am absolutely grateful to you. I'm grateful to this country for affording me an opportunity with a true sense of freedom to be able to speak with clarity in these particular matters. I know sometimes it doesn't necessarily feel as though that this quote-unquote democracy that we talk about is real and rich, that the preamble is only just mere words that we hear or recite, and it has no value. But there's the real opportunities when we talk like this. The opportunities are rich, and I'm grateful for it. I am. I'm absolutely grateful. Join me on this ride, man. Join me on this quest. Join me on this path. Be inspired to kick off that shoe brand that you want to be able to do. Be inspired to design them clothes, design them shoes, right? Yeah, man. Be inspired. Be inspired to jack up somebody here and fade it properly eventually. If they can let you jack it up, do something. Be inspired. Be inspired to start your videography. Yeah. To start your podcast, to start your whatever. Be inspired to do something. And I think that that's what I'm here for. I want to inspire you to stop being lazy and sitting down and believing Jesus Christ can show up and do it for you. Because he is not. He don't have time for that. There are people in India right now digging true. There are people in India right now digging true. The rebel. Like Slumdog Millionaire. Remember Slumdog Millionaire? Looking for something to eat. People in India. They're going far. People in Nassau. People in Grand Bahama. We got to be able to do something, guys. And I'm hoping that we inspired you to let you know that God is real. I couldn't do this without Him, without His grace, without His mercy, without access. He tell me that His burden is light and His yoke is easy. Yeah. And I just tried it. I tried. I don't know. I tried everything else. I tried pawning this one. I tried to open up this. The only thing I get into is selling drugs. And the fella asked me to go to Panama to carry some. He said, I want you to go get a package for me from Panama. And I look at him, and only the Holy Spirit could say, you see this big body? They will tear you right open and use you as a cadaver and stuff you with pellets. You'll be a mule. I said, what? These people can kill me? The fella told me he can pay me $300 and something thousand. I can't remember what the something was. All I remember is 300 and something. Then he said 1,000. I said 1,000. Holy Spirit tell me right then. I ever tell you this story? Walk in the room. I said, well, how you speak Spanish? Fresh from Cuba, you know. He said, yeah, I speak Spanish. He said, you speak Spanish for true? I said, yeah. He said, speak something. I said, do you speak Spanish? He said, no. I said, so how the hell you going to know what the hell I said if I talk in Spanish to you? You don't speak Spanish, but you want me to speak Spanish. You don't know what the hell I said? He said, oh, okay. I said, hey, I tell you I can speak Spanish. I've been living in the place for a year. So he said, once you can meet somebody. He invited me over to the Reef Village, which was the Sheraton at the time. Up on the third floor, something like that. I can't remember. I get to the room. It was only supposed to be him. And I should have known something was wrong because he just came out of jail. He didn't have no savory friends, right? This is my cousin's friend. I didn't know him. I met him through my cousin. But he see an opportunity or an ass, one or the other, in me. Let me come to the room. I come to the room. When I walk in the room, a Mexican, this other man, I don't know what it was, right? One sitting on the bed. Next thing, the door closed behind me, one behind the door, two behind the curtain. Must have been 6 or 7 Colombians in this room. Colombians, that's what it was. I said, Jesus, that's what the hell you bring me in here for? He said, sit down. And the guy started talking Spanish to me right away. And so I responded to him in Spanish. So he asked me where to learn my Spanish. So I tell him where to learn my Spanish. So he said, how long you been living over there? All this in Spanish. I said, I've only been living over there for a year. So he said, you ever traveled? You ever been locked up? You ever did it? I said, no. He said, I want you to make a run for me. I say, run? So he said, yeah. I said, where? So he said, I want you to go to Panama. I said, Panama? So he said, yeah. So he says, I want you to bring something back for me. I'll give you $350,000. I think it was 50. Holy Spirit jumped right up. Listen, they can kill you. So I said, I don't think that this is for me. Then the Holy Spirit says, you're worth more than $350,000. I have things for you to do. Only thing I never do is sell drugs. I'm telling you. I've tried to sell rum. Holy Spirit shut that down. I've tried to sell so much things that I think that was expedient for others. I mean, it's worked for people. I'm not here fighting you. But it was not for me. And so, we find our place where God has us to be, to execute that accordingly, to make some things happen. When we get back, guys, let's talk about a little bit of things. Let's talk about what's going on in the news today. And let's talk about the weekend. The paper is here. I want you guys to be able to purchase one for me. $1. Don't fight me. It ain't no bunch of nothing yet. It ain't no bunch of, well, Howard, well, why don't, no, please don't do that to me. All right. This is the first edition. We're going to be able to do this monthly. And then we're going to be able to bring it out on a week-to-week basis by the first quarter of next year. We need your support. So if you have any advertisements, you want to do a classified, you want to do something, welcome to the Realigner newspaper. Quick commercial break, guys. Going to be right back after this.
The gal we have the best pum pum in the world, but have mental issues. Come with them.
I open face.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Foundation with Howard Grant right here, jamming with you. If you want to be a part of the conversation, I'd love you to do so. Give me a call, 827-0111, 827-0111. We're out here live and in full effect. I want to be able to read a couple of stories for you in the local dailies. Like I said to you, don't forget to get your boy. Take care of your boy. For a cup of coffee a day, you can help a family of 6. Yeah. No. But the thing, man. So you can be able to see this Barnaby. So it says extra funds in the public park and beaches, a matter of reallocation, right? Months after the budget debate, Bahamas Public and Parks Beaches Authority Executive Chairman Michael Barnaby said that he has not explained why his agency overspent its 2024-2025 allocation by $7 million. $7 million. Or how the extra funds were used. Instead of telling the reporters yesterday that the matter was a simple case of government reallocation, it may be a matter of semantics. But the fact of the matter is, when we get to the midterm budget, the government decides what it, let's go to page 3 and be able to read these particular things. Now let's talk about this. The government decides what it wants to do in terms of reallocation. This is what Mr. Barnaby said. He says, I don't view it as an overspending exercise. Mikhail, I want to be able to bring you on the show. I can call you. He's my guy. He sat with me before. So I'd like to be able to bring you on the show if you're available to talk about these particular things. He says the authority allocated $24 million for the fiscal year, but had spent $31 million by March of 2025. Mr. Barnaby made no mention of the authority during this budget contribution earlier this year. Instead, attacking the Free National Movement and its handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. The silence is notable, not only because the past fiscal period marked the second consecutive year of overruns. The authority spent $33.2 million against a $24 million allocation in 2023-2024. But because Mr. Barnaby himself once criticized budget overruns, in 2021, after the minister administration pre-election budget hike pushed the authority's projected spending from $15 million to $37 million. He looked like an electioneer, like electioneering. I don't know what that means. He said the move looked like electioneering. I suppose that was engineering specific to the election. Okay. Okay, right? See, at the time, it looks like, if it looks like, it walks like, it sounds like it, and we can see that the impact of it. You know, I will say this to Mikhail, based upon this story, and this would happen. I was indifferent at the time when I left ZNES. Not necessarily with ZNES, but the concept, the traditions that existed in this particular place at the time were not conducive to the mind that I had and the expectation that I had for transparency and a desire to be able to move forward. I was indifferent about it. People keep saying I get fired from ZNES. I did not. I left. Yeah, you could ask them. I gave them a letter and I left. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Very professional. And I left. I didn't curse nobody out, and I just didn't show up no more. I gave them the letter And I didn't show up anymore. I left. This is when Kelisa DeVoe Isaacs was the GM during this particular time. Very peculiar. I told you the story 1,000 times. I brought in Michael Alkides, just inquisitive, trying to figure out about this particular thing. How can you reduce VAT and still be able to, you know what I mean? And then after I start to talk to him about it, I got backlash like crazy, like hell. I mean, people were calling me from Grand Bahama. How you could have Michael Alkides on the show, the damn show, blah, 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 blah. From Grand Bahama, sitting in Wendy's talking. That's something, man. Y'all is empower idiots in your political organization and then give them the authority to be able to make decisions to keep your organization stupid. Idiots. You all have in your organization sitting down, have nothing to do except wait for you to get in government to throw a contract their way. They never show value nowhere, no how, nothing. So much of them in their life. Not all of them, but a great deal of them. I sit with these men. I don't know them to do nothing except wait for the FNM or the PLP to get in, to get one contract, and then money flow through them. Idiots. You have empowered. But that's neither here nor there. Left Zedness. Left Zedness, went to More 94. Did my thing at More 94. Was indifferent. Working for More 94. It was not the easiest of circumstances. I want to say that with clarity. It wasn't the easiest thing for me to be able to do. After a while, I was warned about going there of what my expectations can be. Nonetheless, I went because I needed something to do. And I know Dwight would not have hired me. I know that. Yeah, because Dwight was indifferent with me leaving the first time. I told him, Dwight, yeah, I'm making the money here. Yeah, but how would you get a hold on? I said, Dwight, hold on to what? I got children. He doesn't know anything about that. Not in a bad way, not in an insulting manner. But sometimes you can't calibrate your brain to real responsibilities that people have if you don't walk in those shoes. You don't even know that those shoes exist. So, went there, found my way back to Guardian Radio through the back door, obviously. It didn't happen through the front door. Got a direct call, went to Guardian. I was adamant about when I'm scrutinizing media in this country and other media outlets, especially the ones that I've worked for, I never speak with a definite posture and tone. I think it's very important. I think it's very important that you understand what I'm saying to you. I never seek to speak with definity. I don't want to speak in a defined and in absolution. I can't do that. I can't say to you, I will never. I can't do that. I don't know what God has for me. I can't. And so I was always cautious, not necessarily about levying scrutiny against ZNS, but always leveling with the scrutiny that I leveled. I always gave a caveat that I don't think I would be involved unless something shifted. And I find myself here being able to do this. So if Mikhail Barnaby had known that these particular things would come up in the future, maybe he would have refrained from saying some things. At the time, he said, it looks like it, it walks like it sounds like it, and we can see the impact of it. Where it was not a real financial decision that was being made, it appears to be a political decision. This is strong. Because sometimes egg is beyond our face. especially as a novice, brand new to the political arena and not knowing where the bodies are buried, the lay of the land. We don't know the navigating the shores of this particular bank. We don't know. And I think it has placed a lot of these newcomers, politicians, weren't patient. Yeah, they were, and I don't know whether or not that's the environment that we live in. The desperation for change that existed rich in the environment, and the subconscious desire to be able to be the Black Moses or the proverbial savior. Maybe you got Will Smith syndrome. Will Smith will be the savior for everything on movies. But in real life, Jada won Tupac. I just want to be clear with you. As we talk, I just want to be very clear with you and say these things. You identify these things. And so when we read this story, though almost 100% an increase for the Free National Movement, $15.2 million budget, then we saw it go up to $37 million. They had Shannon Cartwright in hot water for that. I mean, in hot water for that. Stewing. Sweating bullets, not knowing what the outcome would be. And then he eventually came out and say he's been vindicated, or, some things have happened, or, whatever has happened. He wasn't held to account because of the truth. He can't spend an extra $15 million without approvals. It's the truth. McKellen in this particular capacity can't do it either. No one can do it. It doesn't happen in if it doesn't happen in any other capacity in other spaces, then what is the expectation that you think is going to happen? It's not happening. Can we justify it if it comes out of works? Can we justify it if it comes out of social services? Can we justify it if it comes out of immigration? Yeah, we find a way to be able to make justifications for that. It's checks and balances. But with parks and beaches, you believe that this is the same routine. You should be able to clean up and move and this and that. It shouldn't be an issue. But the truth is, there's something else afoot. Well, we don't know what that is. Not with any certainty. We speculate. Yeah, there's speculation. There's this kind of a casual conversation about how these things happen, but we don't know. We don't know. And so I identify these particular things, and the only thing I would say in my capacity, especially after seeing the hell that Shannon Cartwright would have gone through. Now, Shannon Cartwright issue was almost 2 or 3-fold. Because there was an apparent effort to politically assassinate him. Oh, y'all don't want to talk like this. Oh, God. It was an apparent effort, and I think it's still a concerted effort to ensure that they could eradicate him entirely. Shannon Dunn has presented himself as top-tier leadership quality in the Free National Movement. Youthful, insightful, articulate, connected in terms of the people and in terms of fraternities outside of this. He's connected, he's enriched, he has all these particular things. When I say enriched, it means that he has his finger on the pulse of what's happening. He has deliberately gone against the grain of the organization. The organization turned their back on you. Shannon shows up. Hey, listen, I just want you to know what I don't necessarily agree with these particular things. Shannon has done that for people. He's done that for people. There are people telling me stories that Shannon showed up for me. Yesterday we had Konkole Konkola sitting on the show, and he said one of the only persons that actually help, no matter how you feel about him, is Shannon Cartwright in the St. Barnabas constituency. After persons would have been washed out by the wave. With Brave, Shannon Cartwright was able to hold on. How? How he could beat the half Conky Joe, light skinned, blue eyed boy out of the Progressive Liberal Party, which is Michael Halkitis. Halkitis is the man. He is the future of the PLP. How can Shannon beat him? There was a sense of allegiance to these particular things. And so when we identify that, and knowing all that I know about Shannon, if you're paying attention to it, I would not have taken this kind of and I think it was expedient for the purposes of your exuberance and your novice posture of being able to ensure that you could impress these people around you by saying some stuff like that. But Grammy say, pig is grow hog. Just give it time. Pig is grow hog. Always give yourself a caveat. And that's why we always have to teeter on the line of this kind of political courtesy and this statesman-like posture, as opposed to being able to be overzealous and just saying anything to people. Wild. You got to stop it. So it says a recent social media campaign by the Nassau Guardian has highlighted cracked and uneven tiles, rotting benches with exposed nails, broken. I just want to say something to you. What the hell is going on here? Is this the cry for the investigative journalism that we've been crying for in the country? Or is this a vendetta against the government of the day that the Nassau Guardian has to be able to create, to ensure? I just want to ask the question. This may not necessarily be the easiest of questions, but it's a question that I want to ask. What the hell is going on here? Not that they can't do it, but the Nassau Guardian, for real stories that we wanted to be able to find out the truth and be able to dig significantly into, there was an affiliation associated with that. There was significant affiliation. Leadership and ownership may have had affiliation with these particular stories, and it was swept under the rug in the Nassau Guardian. When they call me and say, Howard, tread lightly on this and that, or whatever the case may be, because you know that there's a certain affiliation in the Nassau Guardian. But now, like, can we be decent just a little taste? A recent social media campaign by the Nassau Guardian has highlighted cracked and uneven tiles, rotting benches with exposed nails, broken swings, rusted playground frames, collapsed sidings, and unsanitary bathrooms at various parks throughout Nassau, around Nassau. You know, that's the first time I got in problems when I was at ZNS. I was across the street from, I was on near the Prime Minister at the time. This is in 2021, 2020. I was at the Prime Minister's headquarters in Kalani. And the basketball court right on the side of the headquarters in Kalani. Right across from a popular eatery, right on that strip right there, West Bay Street. After you turn that deep curve, and then the Prime Minister's, the former Prime Minister's headquarters is right there on the curb, right there on the right-hand side. And then you go up a little bit, and you see the basketball court. So my family and I always used to like to try to hang out right there because I lived out west. I live out west. I used to. I don't live there anymore. Right behind the airport, right in Coral Heights area. And so we would go out there sometimes and hang out. And my babies couldn't play on the swing. The steps are broken. The swing was broken, everything. The prime minister, sitting prime minister, this place was horrible. It looked horrible. And I mention it. And I get a call from Grand Bahama. Because I'm sitting on ZNet. So the whole country could hear me say, hey, listen, it's a beautiful time. I had a good time with my family out there yesterday. But, you know, I'm Prime Minister. You got to be able to make sure you get the swings taken care of. Problems. Now, the Nassau Guardian going out on a mission to identify the infractions that exist in these particular spaces to be able to bring to the forefront to show a sense of inconsistency. Is this for a reason? Is it an affiliation that you want to be able to ensure that you bolster up and say that there is an indifference that exists here because you didn't do for Peter what you're doing now for Paul? My God, but Peter get vindicated, eh? Oh God, I can't even get no amen. It seems as though you're out for blood. For blood. Without even knowing whether or not Paul, because Peter in the seat right now, if Paul, who is also a member of Parliament, I just want to be very clear with you, whether or not he'd be able to retain a seat, I don't understand what's going on here. I don't understand. And I've dismissed this sort of an idea about people drinking the F&M's Kool-Aid mentioned by the Prime Minister. But every time I look at these particular stories, something is going on here. Something's afoot. Something is afoot. There is an underlying motive and an objective that exists in this particular space. For what reason, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm looking at this, and this is imbalanced. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about who is who Ati, and who is who this, and who is who that. It's my space now. You don't want to talk about that. Who is who cousin, who is who Ati, who is... You don't want to talk about that. That's difficult. You don't want to talk about that. You find yourself in this kind of position and you're doing all that you can to be able to, I don't know, make sure that there's success for those persons that you have an affiliation with, a relationship with. That's your uncle and your nephew. I don't know. I can't say that. I'm only asking the questions because the time that I was there that I thought that we could be able to dive deeper into certain stories, the time that I was there that I identified that there was a sense of superficiality coming out of these particular stories, the time that I was there that I mentioned these things, the time that I was there that I got calls to say, Howard, I'm surprised that you believe these particular things. I said, how you could be surprised I believe these things? Yeah, because these are antiquated beliefs. I said, how is believing in Jesus Christ antiquated? How is believing in the Word of God antiquated? How is believing in principles antiquated? Yes, because people don't necessarily do it. Am I to move with the rhythm of the world as opposed to being able to stand steadfast in the convictions of my faith? I don't understand. And now we're in this kind of a position and you're telling me these things are antiquated. But for the most part, I would believe, based upon the superficial stories that come to the forefront, just to be able to retain a position and say, I am such and such and such, that your stories are antiquated, that it does not equate with the position of the Bahamian people. But you've put these stories out here, and we are left to do nothing but ingest this hog mess, garbage. We are to ingest this. And I'm looking at it, and I'm trying to understand. And now I'm reading the Tribune, and the Tribune is stating to me that the Nassau Guardian has gone on a rampage being able to take on a posture for a social media campaign to highlight the cracked and uneven tiles, the rotting benches with the exposed nails, and the broken swings and the rusted playground frames. That's the stories that we're going to deal with. That's the stories that we're going to deal with. There's so much to do out here. Why are we concentrated on beaches and parks? There's so much to. Why is the concentration of an effort on beaches and parks? Why? Why? There's two things happening at the same time. Stop it. There's politics afoot, and there's two things happening at the same time. Stop it. Let's be very clear about this. This ain't nobody else's space. I just pay for this. This is my space. We can have a clear conversation, and I want you to be honest. Shake yourself of any sort of indifference that you have, and let's have a clear conversation. There's two things happening at the same time. Michael Barnaby is the member of parliament for Mount Moriah. Michael Barnaby is the current member of parliament for Mount Moriah. Simultaneously, Michael Barnaby is also holding a former position held by Shannon Cartwright. There's duality at play here. Has Michael Barnaby become the target because of what he possesses, as opposed to the target simply because of the injustice that exists around that? Has he become a target as a result of what he possesses in terms of his member of parliament position in Mount Moriah, and simultaneously being able to hold a former position, which is executive chairman for Beaches and Parks, that was held by Shannon Cartwright? These are just some questions I have. Now there's a trifecta. And it's being able to find its cross-section in the newspaper. We can have a real conversation, or we can play. You tell me. I'm good with it either way. If you want to play like you only see what I see, because I see this. The hell Guardian do it? The hell the Nassau Guardian do it? There's real stories out here to be able to identify. Real stories to chop down and find real meat. You could chop these things down and bring the marrow of the meat to us, so we could be able to identify and understand a strong position either for or against the government. But the superficial story pales in comparison of being able to spend a budget, of you being able to hold your mouth. I won't hear this. But only a fool will speak before they know the whole matter of the thing. And so I won't. Because I'm no fool. I'll take my time and understand these things, but based upon the superficial aspect of this, it seems as though Michael Barnaby has a target on his back. And that target is to be able to pull him down entirely. Let's talk about this. Let me take a quick commercial break, guys, and when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit more about some stuff that's happening out here. All right? I'm going to be right back after this.
culture. See how they jump, see how they dance, and the prophets. See how they move and they groove, and the prophets. Oh yeah. See boy, my family big, got to carry plenty things, something for everyone, and don't forget where you come from. They educate us, everyone. Oh yeah. All creeds and colors mixing together with different flavors. Now the festival's so unique. Andrew's craft falling around your feet. Oh yeah. See how they dance, see how they clap at the prophets. See how they move and groove at the prophets. Oh yeah. Come on down, enjoy yourself at the prophets. Come on down, respect yourself, you might get lucky at the prophets. Bohog and the Rooters, Lassido and the boys, Ed Moxie, the Brylands coming to you. Long Island boys sucking it to you. Oh yeah. When you're having fun, you hope it's never done. Feeling good inside, time flies right on by. Keep this festival alive. Oh yeah. See how they dance, see how they clap at the prophets. See how they move and groove at the prophets. Oh yeah. My Lord, when time to go, they love you so, giving you this and that. 10 dozen crabs right in my sack. Crabman's coming back. Oh yeah. See how they jump in the line, rock their body on time, feeling fine at the prophets. Showing love among the family at the prophets. See how they dance, see how they clap at the prophets. Come on down and have some fun, you might get lucky on the run at the prophets. Oh yeah. They dancing. Oh yeah. At the prophets.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. The Foundation with Howard Grant, jamming with you, on this beautiful Friday out here. Whatever you're going to do over the weekend, I just hope that you do so with safety, with precaution, as you continue to be able to make these things happen. It's just peculiar as I'm looking at these things, man. I don't understand. I just want to play. I want to play fair, and I guess it ain't no fair. It ain't no fair, right? And I guess all's fair in love and war. All's fair in love and war. And this is wartime. I guess all's fair. But this is peculiar because there is a desire for you to be able to hold up the banner of righteousness, and that's not being held up. I said that. When they had this issue with Earl Thompson, Pearlie, at The Guardian, and Latreille sent the letter into Urkel. And the Prime Minister, the same day the Prime Minister said that Kendi is drinking the Kool-Aid of the Free National Movement, right? And then right later on that day, we saw Latreille actually put a letter in about Guardian more specifically. And so, in my view, just observation and being able to identify these things, the government has been able to, in one day, almost seek to dismiss and disqualify the posture that Guardian has taken to indicate that there was a bias there. All right? And I looked at that story and I kind of cringed. I said, not for the government and not for the PLP, for Guardian. For Guardian. I cringed. I was like, oh. But if I'm going to be transparent with you, if I'm going to be honest with you, if I'm going to tell you the truth, I would have mentioned to management that the optics of this particular thing doesn't look well for Guardian. About a week and a half before. I don't care what they say to you, how would they never say that, but I promise you, if you take a note on everybody's show that Pearlie sat on, he never sat with me. He never sat in for me, never sat with me. Not that I have a problem with him. Not that I was mad at him. Not that I have I have no issues with him. It's just that I didn't want to be thrown into that fray. There are relationships here, and the only thing I wanted to do is be able to keep the integrity of my show. And I didn't want no affiliation. That's why when the FNM asked me for something, I sent them an invoice. They take the invoice, scared to the man, and say I tried to extort them. Jesus Christ Almighty. I say, what? What is the same invoice I sent you last year, June 1st, 2024, when you all paid me to go and do the thing for Foundation Podcast up by the convention? And it wasn't a problem then. How come now, because I say I don't support you, it's a problem? It's politics. But all's fair in love and war. And this is your wartime, not mine. I ain't gonna war with nobody. I ain't gonna beef with nobody. I ain't fighting no. I don't have no war. You seek to find war with me. And this is the issue that comes to the forefront. But I said that I would leave Guardian if the banner of integrity is ever to retreat. I said that. And God held me to that. God held me to that, because I couldn't just say it casually. See what I saw and retain that position. I couldn't do it. I'm looking at this, and there needs to be a level of integrity associated with what is being done in these areas. I'm looking at this. And if you're going to be able to do this, you got to do it. You got to do it with clarity. You got to do this with clarity. We're looking to see if we can get Belinda on with us to be able to have a good conversation. Next week, I'm hoping to get some good people on so you can be able to see the things start jumping. I want you guys to start doing some advertisements with me. We let it go for the first. Yeah, because I know you need to see. I know you need to see and feel it. I wonder who Howard having on the thing, and I wonder what he can write in the paper, and I wonder. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I know you. I know them long time. Them people is my. I know you. Don't worry about that. I know who you are. But I just want to be able to remind you of whose you are. So I know you want to be able to see the rhythm of these things and how these things go. Ex-Lucayan chairman put some stuff out there. Michael Scott had an opportunity to be able to talk to him. He's a KC. Michael Scott, in his particular capacity, he was one of the persons who actually said that Prime Minister, well, Member of Parliament at the time, Hubert Minnis, didn't have the electricity to electrify a mosquito. You remember that? It's Michael Scott. And some things are right here. So the Grand Lucayan's former chairman yesterday blasted the Prime Minister's assertion that the former administration made a mess of the resort, almost a self-indictment of his mishaps. Michael Scott, who under the Minnis administration held Lucayan Renewal Holdings, the special purpose vehicle, the SPV, formed to hold the resort. He told the Tribune Business that the criticism voiced by Philip Davis, KC, was effectively covering up his administration's failure to solve the property's fate, despite enjoying 4 years of robust post-COVID tourism market. Amid the wait for Concord Wilshire proposed $120 million Grand Lucayan acquisition to close, the former resort chairman attributed the challenges in finding a buyer to the government's failure to move Grand Bahamas International Airport proposed $200 million redevelopment forward in the 2.5 years since it unveiled a deal for that asset, asserting that no developer of any seriousness or worth is going to invest hundreds of millions of dollars in Grand Lucayan's transformation until the airport is redeveloped into a facility capable of facilitating the visitor numbers necessary to generate the return on the investment. This is what Michael Scott said. I don't understand what's going on here. I don't understand why the unhinging of transparency and honesty. I don't understand why this sort of a shoveling to the side, the one thing that all of us know. I don't. In his capacity, he knew, with or without the damn airport, nobody wanted to buy. This is a package deal. You could do that thing in a package deal. You could do this as a package deal. There's no problem. The government wants to be able to retain a particular position to ensure that it has assets. So you do public-private partnership. A PPP. You sell the airport and the airport, the hotel, the casino as a bundled package. It's a PPP. No, you could sell the airport, the casino, the hotel as a bundled package right now. The government of the Bahamas was able to acquire the airport for $1 in Grand Bahama. The government of the Bahamas was able to receive $60 million. They spend more than $60 million just maintaining that place. $1 million a month. $1 million a month. For 6 years. $1 million a month. $12 million a year. 5 years. They spend $60 million. And the place ain't moved yet. Still mold, still mildew, still rat infestation, still mosquitoes, still lava all over the place, still broken ceilings, broken floor, all these things, windows missing, all these things. Still a deprived, destitute property. $60 million later, after the acquisition. The Free National Movement was able to retain this particular space, and they ensure that everything was taken care of, and they still can't fix that. Michael Scott is disingenuous in his posture, his position. He's disingenuous. And there's sort of a self-indictment. Every time we see him come to the forefront, there's an expectation, a desire to be able to align himself. Even when he took on a position to be able to levy significant words of darts that he threw at the former prime minister. Because everyone assumed that Loretta would be able to beat him, to beat Minnis. So you identify who your horse was in the race, threw darts at the other person, and it didn't go so. And you still found yourself in a comfortable enough position because you are a Free National Movement. You're FNM. You look past this, because no one could forget that. No one forgot when you said Minnis didn't have enough electricity to electrify a mosquito. But you still found yourself in a position where you served. And I don't think you groveled on your knees like they told me some fellas had to do. I ain't gonna call nobody name. I don't think you shuffled in on your knees and with your hands clasped and said, please, please. I don't think you did that. I think your tenure, your posture, your hue, I'd place you in an authoritative position where you could say, this is what I want. And you got what you want. Now you've identified your person again. Michael Pintard. Rightfully so. And throwing darts at the government of the day for not being able to fix what you couldn't fix in your capacity. What the Free National Movement couldn't fix in their capacity. As a collective. As everyone now in the Free National Movement taking on this kind of a position to say that this is what you should have done. You said you were going to do it. You can't do it. Even the former Prime Minister, none of y'all could have fixed Grand Bahama. None of y'all. None. Every one of y'all taking on this kind of a position to be able to throw darts at the PLP because you know that the PLP is not necessarily waving in the minds of the Bahamian people. There isn't this kind of hatred that exists for the PLP that existed for the Minnis administration. So you need to generically create something. You need to create a concept, an idea that people could be able to shift their minds from the overall sentiment into an isolated concept. And you could be able to say, oh, because of this small, minute thing, they haven't done this. You couldn't do it. You could not do it. You sat in this particular capacity for 4.5 years under the Minnis administration, enjoying the luxuries and the perks of this particular position and got nothing done. Nothing. Grand Bahamian people still ain't going to work. And all you're doing is maintaining mess. These are the contracts that you set up. I don't understand this. I don't understand why people are being disingenuous. I don't understand why you're lying to yourself for the purposes of political expedition or expedience. Your desire to be able to get in here where you seek to deflect from everything else. Hey, don't look over there. Look over here. Hey, don't look over there. Look here. You did this. You did this. The Christie administration let the thing go to hell. let it fall into significant disrepair. They didn't retain this particular position. The Grand Bahama Port Authority did nothing to be able to retain this. They couldn't attract anyone to the island. The island had fallen in significant disrepair. The entire island looks like a ghost town. It looked like a bunch of matchsticks fall over when you fly over Grand Bahama. We talk about this. You fly over Grand Bahama, 1 million pine trees just laying down there, just laying on the floor, broken. You could find a space in Grand Bahama right now. You could go to these, let's say you go to Rupert. Tell Rupert, I want a contract to be able to do these things. Mark me out 10 acres of land in this kind of a swampy area. Or what you can do, I can take out all the marsh and I can be able to take those and run it through a machine. After I run it through the machine, we can mulch it up, identify a place in the United States of America that we can distribute mulch to. We can put a dye to it. We can sell the mulch for this, and this. We want to give you a portion of that. They can't get to the idea of creativity and how you can make money because they haven't gone from step 1 to step 2. They haven't gone from the physical needs to the likes and loves and so forth. They can't move from one step to another. They keep teetering between the necessity and the desire to be able to grow up to self-actualization as it relates to Maslow hierarchy of needs. You can't find creativity coming out of Grand Bahama because there is a desperation that exists there. It's the desperation that exists there. And so the empowerment that exists in the city of Nassau and throughout the country that can be able to help alleviate the issues, all you could do is point fingers. You ain't come up with a damn solution yet. Not one solution. All you can do is the PLP ain't do it. So what the hell we can give you a chance to do nothing again? To sit back on this particular board, this SPV board, and do nothing again. No, it's just, this has to be, and I have to hold my breath on it. There's this idea that I don't like the FNM. There's this idea that I'm mad with the FNM. You know, I love my wife so bad. Oh, and my children, oh, I love them so bad. I pray for them. I wanted them. I wanted wife and I wanted children. I wanted them bad. And I get it. And I'm grateful. But that don't mean I don't cuss them. My children, that ain't mean I don't bust their behind. And simply because I cuss them and bust their behind doesn't mean I don't love them. And I don't have an appreciation for them. And I don't have gratitude that they're in my life. But sometimes you go contrary and awry. I had a love for the Free National Movement. Now, I don't know where this love came from. It's a manufactured love that was on the conveyor belt of my Grant family. And they distributed me a portion of that. A manufactured love for the Free National Movement. And I thought it was an authentic, rich, real thing. And every time I went against them, it's because I thought that they went against the times that we were living in. And then they showed me how they felt about me, with hatred and disdain. And I don't think they view it with hatred. I think that this is just the rhythm of the organization. It's just politics. All's fair in love and war. And whenever you stand against an organization, it's war. I don't have hatred for the Free National Movement. And I definitely don't have no love for the Free National Movement. That cancer that was delivered to me by my family on this conveyor belt of manufactured quote-unquote love. I ripped that out of my system. There only could be sense that organizations make for me to be able to affiliate with them. FNM or PLP or COI or DNA, it don't matter. Or any other organization. You only could make sense for my country. So when I see this kind of a disingenuous posture of being able to talk about what's right and what's wrong and who did this and who didn't do that, it's still void of the solutions necessary for reform, for transformation, for real growth and real development. It still sits nestled in the position of potential. And no one has tipped it over into kinetic. I don't want to hear from people who used to mean something and still don't have a solution. I don't. I'm not that kind of guy. I had to sit down and think through these things. I will show you better than I could tell you. And that's what I expect for leadership to do in the next dispensation. That's the show today, guys. I want to thank you so very kindly. I want you to join me on Monday. I'm hoping that I have a few guests that's coming through next week. I got 2 confirmations, and it sounds like I'm going to have 3 or 4. So hopefully we have a full slate next week as we continue to be able to dive into these great conversations. And on Monday, look out for this, man. Go to the various gas stations. It should be in your gas station. If not, I will drive my car to you to sell this to you, my truck to you. To sell this to you. Don't worry about that. Right? Prospect Ridge, right there on Shirley and Market Street. On the intersection right there. It should be also, just pick up the paper, it's going to be $1. So I want you to be able to be a part of what we're doing. Also at various gas stations. Like I said to you, it's going to be at Roka's. In Exuma, it's going to be at a couple places in Exuma. We're looking to be able to get it to the supermarket in Abaco. We got a lot of work to do this weekend. A lot of work. So we're hoping that you'll be a part of it. If it doesn't get to you on Monday, it'll be to you next week. But if you're here in Nassau, I want you to be able to purchase a paper for me, please. All right. The Realigner. We're here. We're live. And we're excited to be able to do what we're doing. All right. Going to see you guys on Monday, God's Spirit Life, right here on The Foundation.
Where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table.